Hi, I'm Tom Collins. I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona Citizens Clean Elections Commission. And we're here today with Lenora Yazzie Fulton, who is the former Apache County Recorder, a former Navajo Council delegate, as well as a longtime member of the Navajo Election Board. And we're here today to talk about the Navajo Voters Coalition 2019 conference. But first, Lenora, thanks for being here. I wonder if you might talk a little bit about the Navajo Voters Coalition and how it came about and what brought you to the place where you're having this conference in June.
The Navajo Voters Coalition began in 2014 because during that time the Navajo Nation had an election and the people just decided they don't want to vote because there was some problems that was going on with the election. 2016 there was another problem. The people refused to vote, and so people became very concerned throughout the nation, and so they gathered together and they organized the Navajo Voters Coalition into 5 agencies. And so their primary goal was to educate the people, to motivate them to register to vote and get out on election day. And so they decided to have an annual conference. They had 2 conferences on a smaller scale. But now in 2019, because 2020 is coming up, and they feel that we really need to be involved. And so this conference is going to do a lot of education for the people. Yeah. And so this is what this conference is on June 8th at Dene College.
When you look at the agenda for the day, what are some of the things that you would highlight for folks who are attending? Like what are some of the key takeaways that voters should get out of this conference?
There's one message that the Voter Coalition wanted to get out, and that is the power of the Native vote. Throughout all the years that I've worked with the Navajo Nation and the county, the different election, we found that when the Native people become involved in voting, it made a big difference. And so that's what the keynote speaker would talk about to the people, because a lot of times people don't understand how important it is for them to vote. There's also the impact at the county level, at the state level and at the federal level. So this is information that will be given to the people. The other thing would be is how clean elections, work with the nation, because we worked with them before. And then the role addressing the difference between the precincts and the boundaries of the chapters and the state, and how important it is for people to be clear on where they live. And then how to change election laws. And then all the information that they would gather from all these booths that would be available to them. And so information, and also to find out how important it is that their vote makes a difference.
You mentioned that the keynote speaker and the theme of the program is your vote makes a difference. What will the keynote speaker be communicating to people who are there about the power of the Native vote?
This keynote speaker, he's a Marine, he's a veteran, and so he realized what he sacrificed for. So one of the things that he would touch upon is every single person, no matter who it is, if you're registered to vote, your vote will count. And so people, when they refuse to vote, then it's not going to count. So that's one of the things that he will emphasize, and how important it is that they participate in their government, because everyday life depends on some of the laws that are passed, by people.
Sure, absolutely. You mentioned that we're preparing to go into 2020, so there's going to be a number of different elections. You have a sense of which elections you think people have the most questions about? I mean, we have a presidential preference election and state primaries and stuff like that. So which do you think will folks have the most questions about?
There's not really any particular questions that people have that is far outstanding, but one of the things that I know comes out quite often is the presidential preference election, and then the difference between the state, county, and tribal, because people don't understand that there are different dates in certain states. But in Arizona, the primary date is on the same day with the state of Arizona and the Navajo Nation.
Interesting. Where can voters go to get more information on the conference? You all have a website, correct?
The Navajo Voters Coalition has a website, www.navajovoterscoalition.org.
Okay. And we at the Arizona Clean Elections Commission, we have information posted on our website. What do you think if there was one thing that voters will do at the conference that's most important? What do you think that is? I mean, is it learning, or is it getting registered, or which, do you think, what do you think the most important thing to leave with is?
Well, the theme is your vote makes a difference.
Yeah.
And how can your vote make a difference if you're not registered?
Mm.
So at this conference, there will be people registering, with from the county, and also with the Navajo Nation. So a person will come away knowing fully well that they are officially registered, their paperwork is filled out, turned into the appropriate office, and the Navajo Nation as well. So that's one thing that people always had questions before when they registered to vote. They were not sure. On election day, when they go to vote, they're told they're not registered to vote. But in this case, we'll have people there that will make sure that that's done.
I think that's an important, if not the most important, factor in the process. So I think that's great. So remember, if you're interested, save the date of June 8th at Dene College in the Navajo Nation. For the Navajo Voters Coalition 2019 Your Vote Makes a Difference Conference. And thank you very much for watching.